friends. Happy December. Today is Friday, December 6th. I am coming to you from my partially decorated home. I am here in West Seneca. If you're familiar with the Buffalo, New York area, I'm literally 2 streets over from Buffalo. I am right on the border of South Buffalo and West Seneca. My name is Barb. I am a cross stitcher, obviously. I'm a quilter. Obviously, I am a long arm quilter. I do quilt for clients. I'm a wife, a mom, a grandma, a dog mom. I just celebrated a milestone birthday on Monday. And if you are starting to receive Medicare information in the mail, you know which birthday I'm talking about. So I'm just liking to welcome you here. I want to talk to you about some of my cross stitch and some of my quilting. I am a quilter. I bring this stuff in. I've tried to plan this so that I keep cross stitching in one spot and quilting in another. It doesn't work for me. So feel free to fast forward or just hang around and listen. Pick up your stitching. Just keep this going in the background and let's have a good time. I have my beverage of choice today, which is pop. Yes, we say pop up here. Okay. Keep the whistle wet. So let's get started. I do have my notes here, and it is helping to keep track of what it is I need to say because I can go off on a tangent. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know that I can just kind of totally go wherever, and then I try to swing myself back, and who knows. So what have I been stitching on? Well, I have a pile of things here. So let's start with my book of days. Now, I did order my 2025 book of days from Hobby House, and I think my order was shipped. I did get a notification that they refunded partial order, and to be honest, I don't remember everything of what I ordered. I'm sure I could go back and look at my list. I know there was a Jeanette Douglas pattern and flosses that I got and some fabrics, but my most important was that book of days. And Hobby House had a sale on Black Friday. Actually, I think it started before Black Friday. I believe it was 40% off. It was a very good sale. Okay, so my 2025 book of days is coming in the mail. I know a lot of people use different things, and you got to use what you love. I am still trying to find something that I can condense everything all into one. I know that there are quite a few that some floss tubers will show, and I've looked at them, and I don't know. I have a calendar for daily events. I have my book of days. I have my to-do list. But boy, oh boy, wouldn't it be great if I could get it all in one spot and then not have to search for my to-do list or all of those other fun things. So according to my December, and here's the other thing, I haven't even put any stickers in here yet. I started the day after Thanksgiving, and you know what? Happy Thanksgiving to all of you if you celebrate. I did have family here. That's a whole different story. But I brought up all of my Christmas decorations the day after Thanksgiving, and I have, and I'm not kidding you, over 30 tubs of decorations, and I normally put up 4 trees, and this year I'm putting up a 5th one because my youngest grandson wants to decorate it. So it's actually already up way in the back hall. It just has lights on it. So he can go ahead and decorate it however he wants. I think I'm just going to have him use like those satin ornament balls that we probably had since the 80s. But anyway, so I brought up my Christmas things, and I've been starting to decorate, and it's a lot of work. I've already been doing this now for a week, and I need another full week. I am still recuperating from surgery. Things are slow going. So I'm finding that I'm getting a little bit tired a little bit more quickly. Plus, I also went back to work this week. I work part-time at a veterinarian's office. I work emergency hours. So I did that, and I did babysit for some of my grandkids this week. So, you know, at this Medicare age, you tire out, right? So according to my book of days, I started my snow day stitch. Now, I believe I mentioned my snow day stitch previously. Now, as I said, I am a hop, skip, and a jump from Lake Erie. And if you know anything about Buffalo weather, or you've seen Buffalo weather on the Weather Channel, you know we get dumped on, okay? And we had a typical lake effect storm that started down in the southern tier on Friday-ish. I thought we were going to escape it. We got it Saturday, and we got dumped on. We don't measure in inches here, we measure in feet. So I was able to start my snow day stitch, which I have mentioned before. It is called Wee Santa by Heart and Hand. I know I've showed it to you. This is it. Isn't he adorable? And the reason I chose him is because the flowers remind me of quilt blocks. So this is how far I've gotten. Now this is a mystery piece of even weave. I wouldn't be surprised if it was something that you would use for hardanger. I am stitching 1/2. And the reason being is I like a more muted look. I'm not one of those stitchers that needs to cover the whole space. I'm okay with this. And to be honest, if when I get done with it, if it doesn't have that pop to me, it is such a small stitch, I could definitely stitch it again. So I am using all of the called for colors. Okay, and they are Classic Colorworks. And there are a lot of them. And I believe that is the reason, because there are so many colors in the flowers. But they are very, very pretty. Okay, I'm very happy with this. So I am doing 1 strand on a snow day. I've stitched 3 days since last Saturday. Okay, so, and as I said, the way we get snow around here, it's quite possible that I might start a 2nd snow stitch or even a 3rd. We'll see. The next piece that I have worked on, and I have shown this before, and I have gushed and gushed and gushed about it. I can't tell you how much I am enjoying this stitch. And I looked at it last night and I said, oh my goodness, I'm about only 25% more to go. This is Americana Red. Yes, I leave my needle in. That works for me. I'm okay with it. I did change the shape of the house roof. I wanted something a little bit more pointed. I have a little bit more of the alphabet to go, and then I'm changing the bottom. The reason being, I don't particularly care for the cherries at the bottom of the pattern. So I will do, obviously I'll do the remainder of the alphabet, and then I'm going to stitch those designs after the letter Z. Then I'm going to put in 2024 and finish up with some of those flying geese is what I'm going to call them. And I'm just going to rearrange this bottom just a little bit. So as I looked at this last night, I figured one of the best indicators that I have here is this design. I'll show you again here. This design that runs down the side here. Oh my gosh, I almost dropped my to-do book. This design that runs down the side, I will do 3 more motifs down, and that's where I'm going to stop it. So once I get all of the rest of the alphabet done and I get those motifs on there, then whatever I have space remaining along the bottom is how I'm going to fill that in. Not sure what I'm going to do yet. A couple years ago, somebody had posted that one stitching book, and I know there's a million, and I didn't even think to pull it out. But it has hundreds and hundreds of little designs in the book, all different kinds of things. So I might just pull that out and see if I can work something in there. So that's my Americana Red. And boy, oh boy, I would love to have it done by the end of the year. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not too crazy worried about it, but I am going to start Americana Blue on New Year's Day. That is going to be my New Year's Day stitch. Okay. Something else that I showed you in my last video that I was working on, and I'm quite sure my recipient does not watch my videos. I'm stitching for a swap. an ornament swap in one of the Facebook groups. So my person likes shepherd's bush. So I found this pattern and I am doing this ornament here. Now I also, she also provided, or she indicated, you know, she would provide her favorite colors if her recipient wanted them. And I said yes. So in a roundabout way, I got her favorite colors. And with the Lugana that I chose green as my color for these ornaments. So I showed you the first time that I did 1/1. Okay, oops, I'm sorry. Let me get some clips here, excuse me. Let me just clip that on there. We gotta love our wonder clips, right? So I did 1/1. And I didn't have that much trouble, right? I mean, it's not difficult to follow a pattern. But let me tell you, I don't know where my mind was at. I have a sneaking suspicion, you know, but I ripped this out more times than I stitched, I feel like. And it got to the point that I said, if I have to rip it out one more time, I'm not going to do it. I did it 2/2. Same thing. 2/2. I got done with it and I looked at it and I missed a spot. Oh gosh, what a pain. But they're both done and I have an idea as to how I want to finish them. And I do know that she prefers simple finishes. So if you look at this again, I'm just putting some clips on here again so you can see the size relation. I'll have one large one and one small one. Now I really do like this, and I more than likely will stitch it for myself. I am very much an aqua girl. I hate that. I hate when people say girly, but anyway, I am very much an aqua color fan for Christmas decorations, or blue. I do like that. And this is shown in blue. And I actually like all three designs. And I went ahead when I was pulling out the fabric for this, I pulled out some blues so that I can stitch the others for myself. It's not something that I have to do right now. I don't want to say I'm a seasonal stitcher. I don't mind stitching out of season, okay? If it's something that is speaking to me at that point in time, I'll stitch on it. It's okay. So those are the majority of the things that I've been working on just because I wanted to get them off my plate. And they're just so much fun. So I'm going to just show you one of my whips today. I do have many, 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 and I promise you I will not do a whip parade. In my last video, I showed you all those whips that have been sitting around since probably the 80s and 90s that I have in my little wicker sewing basket. Trust me, that was plenty for me to just, oh my God, shake my head at myself, right? So, but this is another whip, and the reason I'm showing it is because I watched Lori Holt today. I watched her Flosstube, and gosh, I love Lori Holt. Absolutely love her. Her stitching is phenomenal. Her quilting is phenomenal. I really, she is one of those, along with like Carol Saltbox, Brenda and Laura, Sarah, Sari Stitchy Spot. I will stop and make sure that I watch. And not to get off topic again, but Karen, the Recovering Monogamous Stitcher, just posted, she's got a new video up today. Go watch Karen. She's also a quilter. So anyway, Lori Holt showed her finished design of My Christmas List by Silver Creek Samplers. Now, when this came out, what, a year ago, 2 years ago, I wanted to do it right away. And I also made the mistake of confusing it with the Christmas sampler that Primrose Cottage Stitchers posted. So I went ahead and I bought everything for this. And then when it came in, I went, that's not the one I really wanted to do right at that point in time. And then I realized my mistake. So I just bought the other one too, because why not? So I did start this, and I really did have all intentions of having it done last Christmas. And I'm going to tell you why I stopped. I initially started, I am using the called for, I believe this is a 32 count Lugana. And I started it. Now, one other thing, Lori Holt does have a color conversion. She did swap out some of the colors. So I am using her conversion for this. I know she had it in one of her floss tubes. But, you know, if you have this pattern and you're choosing to do the conversion, I can always provide you with the color numbers because I wrote them on my pattern. Well, on my working copy. Okay. So I started it 2 over 2. I didn't like it. This Lugana is very tightly woven because, you know, it is overdyed, or it is dyed. And to be honest with you, I can't remember what this fabric is. I know I had the card. I know I had it somewhere. I have no idea where it is. I swore it was in my box, or in my project bag, and I have no idea. But I do, you know, I really do like this Lugana, but I didn't like how tight it was, and I felt like I was fighting with my threads. So what did I do? I restarted it. And you can definitely see the difference in the color of the stitch. Okay, now these are DMCs. It's the same. I'm doing 1/2, but I prefer the softness of this. I'm not fighting with my threads. And honestly, I mean, I put this down last year and I didn't touch it for months. Not that I didn't want to, I wasn't enjoying it. So what do? We make changes so that we can enjoy our stitching. So that's what I did. I haven't really worked on this lately. Again, I had no intentions of getting it done this year. I really wanted it done last year, but that's okay. It's there, and I'm happy that I made those changes. And honestly, I looked at it and I said, well, I'm going to stitch a little bit with 1/2 and see what it looks like. And if I don't like it, I'm just going to scrap the project and pass the pattern along. But I do like how it's turning out. I'm contemplating changing some of the wording. I don't know. But I do prefer the 1/2. And as I said, I am using DMC. So that's just one of my whips for today. So I've been showing you some of my older pieces that I have stitched years ago because we all have them. And because I'm also in the midst of decorating for Christmas, I really pulled down all of my regular home decor. I pack it all away. My husband teases me that I decorate doorknobs. And you know what? I've been collecting Christmas things for quite some time. So I like it, right? I do have my mother's things after she passed. A lot of her things are things that I remember from my childhood. One of my Christmas trees that I decorate is decorated in all of the ornaments that my mom had when I was a kid. I mean, they're old. They are the old glass ornaments. And every year, it never fails, I drop one and I cry because you can't replace those. So there are ornaments that I made for my mother. But once I get everything up, maybe hopefully by Christmas I can do another video. If not, I will pop up pictures later on when everything is done. It might be between Christmas and New Year's, because listen, as long as it takes me to do this, my Christmas stuff is up till mid-January. Okay, until little Christmas at least. Okay, so let me just show you a few more things that I have that I've pulled off of the wall. Now this is embroidery. It's called Bittersweet. I have no idea what the pattern was. Couldn't even tell you anymore. It is called Bittersweet. I have a note on here that I started this in October of 1999, and it says Hands All Around Gathering. That could be the designer. I honestly don't know. But I did hand stitch everything. I completed it in 2020. I did hand quilt it. The backing is muslin because that's what I used a lot of back in the day, right? I put some tabs on it, grabbed a stick from outside, and, you know, she just hangs there. She hangs in the hall. She has had a bath, but she's old. She's 24 years old. It's not too bad. But, you know, stitching is timeless. Don't you believe that? Obviously, we must believe that because we love stitching reproduction samplers. We try to rescue the pieces that we find maybe in thrift stores. We recognize the importance of stitching. And this one actually, I'm just noticing now, all the little red berries on there are beads. Look at me doing beading. That's one thing I won't do. I will never do a mirabilia. It's just too much. They're gorgeous. Oh my God. Not for me. Okay, so that's Bittersweet. Now this one is recent. This is Welcome Autumn. And actually I'm showing this because I'm putting it away for, you know, Christmas decorating, and then it won't come out again until next fall. This is by Primrose Cottage. I have my little library card on the back. So I started this on September 2nd of 2024, finished it, or my last stitch was September 7th, and I finished it at the end of September. I used DMC and anchor flosses because I probably just pulled from stash. I stitched 1/1 on 18 count Leo and Roxy Cloud 9 Ada. I finished this on a wall piece that I found in clearance at Hobby Lobby. And I used Kim Deal fabrics as accents because Kim Deal, right? I'm really liking this. So it's just, it has that little handle. I think it was one of those little trays that you would set like this. But, you know, my Kim Deal fabric. I also have, and I do have to order some more of these. I ordered, well, goodness sakes here. I like to date my pieces, and that's not going to flip. I'm not going to mess with it right now. I get the little year charms. That one does say 2024. It just happens to be upside down. So I did finish this with, this is all Kim Deal fabric here and in the bow. I found some brown rickrack in my stash because, you know, when my daughter was little, I rickracked everything that I made for her, it seems like. So, but this was a really quick stitch. So it's called Welcome Autumn by Primrose Cottage Stitchers. And just to mention this, once a month, Primrose Cottage Stitchers offers a free pattern. Now, only way you can get that free pattern is if you sign up for their email, which I just did. I don't know why I didn't do it in the past, but I did get the email, and this December's stitch is really cute. So they give you the free pattern, and then you have the ability to go on to their website and buy the finishing kit for the pattern. I generally don't buy the finishing kits for small things like that because I have so much stuff, but it's a really cute pattern. So Primrose Cottage Stitchers, sign up for their email. They have a quilt pattern. They also have the cross stitch pattern. Okay, so again, Welcome Autumn. This one's going to go in the box for next year. Here's another oldie. I have no idea when I made this, but looking at the ribbon, I'm going to say the late 80s. It is, I know it was a kit. It says, it's love that makes a house a home. And I just finished this in a hoop. Very messy, right? That's how I finished things way back then. I didn't know. It was hanging. I think I had this hanging in either my back hall or my kitchen for the longest time. And you know what? Yes, I have washed it since then, and thankfully nothing ran. I'm pretty sure it was DMC floss because, you know, it came in a kit. But looking at this, I actually have it hanging in my kitchen, and maybe in the spring I might take it apart and refinish it. But I do know that it is glued into this round, into this hoop. So it might not be worth my effort or sanity to take it apart. Okay. Then this is a more recent finish. This is called C is for Coffee. I did this in 2023. This piece is, again, by Heartstrings Samplery. I don't have my stitchy card in front of me. I think I put it in my 2023 book of days, because if I have a piece that's too small to put the card on the back, what I've been doing is putting it in the book itself. So because I do date my pieces now, I literally can go back to 2023 and find my information for this. Now I finished this on a piece from Hobby Lobby. It had a big white wooden flower in the center, and I took that off. And then it was actually, there's some screws on there. So it was screwed on. So I took the screws off, took the flower off, and then mounted, the piece is mounted onto a circular board. I do have some batting behind my pieces. I always put batting behind my pieces now, just to make it look a little bit more soft. And then this particular piece itself, if you look, is mounted onto a wooden ornament that might have been from the Chantel box in 2023. I don't even remember. But what I wanted to do, I didn't want to put the screws right into my stitch piece. So I made sure that the ornament itself, the wooden ornament, was thick enough so that the screws could go into that. And then I glued my piece to the ornament, and this hangs in my kitchen. C is for Coffee. Love it. Now this one my daughter made for me. She did this in 2015. She framed it herself. I'm sorry for the glare. She did put it under glass. You can see I have my lights on up there. But it's all about coffee, fresh brewed, espresso. She did this on black. This is her back. She didn't, isn't that funny? Look at that. You can actually see it. Well, I can see it reversed here, but I don't know what it's going to look like when the camera switches it around. Cappuccino, latte, cream, milk, sugar, dark roast. So this also hangs in my kitchen, and this was a gift from my daughter in 2015. She does stitch, not very often. She started a piece for me, I don't know how many years ago, and every year she tells me it's going to be next year's Christmas present. It is big though. It is a dimensions kit, and it is a garden scene and everything. And we all know those dimension kits have quarter stitches and half stitches and back stitching. And honestly, I think that's one of the reasons why I stopped doing kits. I don't like back stitching. I mean, it used to be part of our stitching, but now there's been so many changes in designs, and some patterns need it. If I can get away without it, I'm going to get away without it. Okay, so those are some of my older pieces. Now, who did I watch? I watched a lot of Flosstube. I had it on while I was, going through decorations and stuff, and listening. And then if they were showing something, I quick and, took a peek, might have had to rewind a few things. But in my book, according to me, I watched Two Needles Pulling Thread, Missy and Kathy, the sisters-in-law, love them. Kindred Stitcher, Hobbies of Holly, she came on. She did a short video saying that she's actually going to be moving, and she probably won't do another video probably until, she said, maybe even February. So if you watch Hobbies of Holly, don't worry that she's not going to be on for a bit. They're moving. Okay. Comfort stitching with Jackie. She does a really nice relaxation and meditation type talk at the end. She's very calm when she speaks, and I find that I can put her on and just have her in the background. When she talks about her pieces again, you know, you look over to see what she's doing. Somebody new to me was Stitching by the Shore. Her name is Laura. I liked her pieces too. Oh my gosh, Welcome Stitchery. Stop it if you don't watch Justine and Shelley. They are a hoot. Okay, Welcome Stitchery is way out west. She's got a great little shop. I have ordered from her in the past, from Justine. And I love watching them. As soon as the notification pops up that they've popped up a video, I'm in, right? I'm going to watch it as quickly as I can, because as much as we love them and we want to see them all the time, she's busy. They're busy ladies, so they don't get to be on all the time. So it is a treat to watch them. The Huga Stitcher, Samantha, she was new. I watched some of her videos. And then, of course, Lori Holt, I watched her today. And I know that there were others. I just didn't write them down. Karen, Recovering Monogamous Stitcher, I think I mentioned at the beginning, she did post today that she's got a new video up. So I'll be watching that later tonight when my husband goes bowling. I almost said golfing. When he goes bowling. So, okay. So, would you like to see my personal presents? Oh, my friends. Let me tell you. Remember, I said this was my birthday week. I had a birthday on Monday. Okay. So, and it's Christmas month. Okay. So let me start. I think I had said in my last video that I was expecting a package from Fat Quarter Shop, and it literally came when I got done with videoing the last video. It was sitting outside waiting for me, and oh, I was so excited. So I have said before multiple times, Kim Deal is my favorite designer. I love earth tone colors. I'm a summer girl, love the heat and the hot. I love the colors of fall, the browns and the greens. My living room here was painted like coffee brown, and then I painted it a lighter color, and I didn't like it, and I repainted it to like a coffee with milk kind of thing. Now I drink my coffee black, but so the browns, that's my colors, the browns and the greens and, you know, the burnt oranges, things like that. I love the color combinations together, blues, right? So Kim Deal had posted the one day on Instagram, she was doing some stitching. She's something about getting back to stitching. And I said, oh my gosh, wouldn't it be wonderful if you designed a cross stitch pattern? Well, the cross stitch gods were listening, because a few days later, Fat Quarter Shop in their live popped up with the Kim Deal pattern. I said, hold everything. And I went and shooed, like Laura from Brenda and Laura says. So this is the pattern. It's called Easily Distracted. Now, this is actually stitched on a Lori Holt bag. Now, these bags are, I'm sure you've seen the patterns where you can cross stitch on the bags. This is the same, but this is a big bag. It says, it's called the Big Hexie Project Bag by Lori Holt. And I'm sure you can get the bag from It's So Emma from Fat Quarter Shop. But anyway, so I jumped on the pattern immediately, and the Baldani Pearl Cotton. Now, I don't stitch in Pearl Cotton. Look at those luscious, luscious colors. I don't want to take them out of the bag because I don't want to lose any of them. So when I was looking at this, I thought, oh, I can't stitch on 36 count Lugana. What am I going to do? I'm not going to use the bag. So, you know, had I thought when I made my purchase, I would have looked for some larger Ada. Well, it just so happens that I had a 10 count vintage cloth by Lori Holt in my stash. Now, it's looking green there, but it's actually, does it have a color on here? I would say it's called Natural. Okay, and it is 10 count. So I think I think that this should be okay for the pearl cotton. I will test it. I did check to see that with the stitch count of this design and the size of this cloth, because this cloth is a 17 by 17 inch, my stitch design is only going to be about 10 by 7, so I shouldn't have a problem. And that is stitching over 1. I might just go back and see what it would look like if I could get it over 2. But even as it is, it's going to be 10 by 7, and that's still kind of big. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do, if I'm going to put it into a little wall hanging, which is obviously more than likely what I will do. Make a wall hanging with some of my Kim Deal fabrics because I can, right? Also, in that particular personal present, I picked up some needles by Lori Holt. Now, I don't really have a larger size needle to stitch with pearl cotton, so honestly, I'm not even sure what size needle I need for pearl cotton. I'll figure it out. But I bought size 24 and 26. I'm not really picky when it comes to needles. I use all kinds. I'm used to, when I do my quilting, I use a very tiny sharp needle. So anything like this is just super big to me, and that's okay. I also picked up some vintage oatmeal Lori Holt cloth to add to stash. So that was one personal present. Now let me show you what my husband gave me for my birthday. Now, I've mentioned before that Hobby House is my local needle workshop, and it's a good hour away from me. As I said, I'm Buffalo, West Seneca area. Hobby House is in Rochester. If you haven't been to Hobby House, you need to go. If you haven't been to a Hobby House retreat, you need to go. I have a retreat coming up in April with Jeanette Douglas and Paulette from Plum Street, and I am just so excited. Oh, and Brenda and Laura are going to be there too. So what he did, he works very close to Hobby House, so he went there. The man actually listened, right? He went there, and let me show you the first thing. Pataki box. And I believe this is cherry, because it does look like my dining room set, and my dining room wood is cherry. Look at this. And it has a wonderful, wonderful smell to it. I want to say it might even be cedar on the inside. I'm not sure. But it has 2 boxes as such with lids. There's 2 of these for storage. There's a larger box for storage. And these covers just fit on so effortlessly. There's also a little cork pad. Stick your needle in. And then in the bottom of the box, there is a separated area, and these actually come out if you need them to. So he got this, which, listen, the man rendered me speechless, and that is not an easy task because I always have something to say. Okay. So this gorgeous box, the needlework case, storage. Let me just trying to find room over here on my table. And then when I looked in the bag and I saw red Winterberry. Isn't this gorgeous? Now he bought red because I have a red sports car. Grandma does have a sports car, okay? And anything like this, I will choose red. So inside this little travel case here, and I will be taking this to Hobby House retreat in April. You know, this lifts out, and then you've got room in the bottom there. I didn't take the little other pieces out of there yet. And then he also got the little case for the snips, scissors. And I looked at him, I'm like, are there Kohana scissors in here? He just stared at me blankly. He had no idea. So, no, there were not. But the little case, He also gave me a gift card to Hobby Lobby, which I will be using for my retreat in April. And then from the Scarlet House, Canine Quotes. And I said to him, how did you know how to pick this pattern? Because this is actually on my wish list from 123 Stitch. He said, I just looked for something with dogs. I said, okay, well, guess what? He got 100 out of 100 on this one. I actually posted it in the Needlework Facebook page, and I told him, I said, you are trending. Everybody is telling me you are a keeper. They want to know what you're getting me for Christmas. You know, what a very thoughtful gift, and on and on and on. I mean, this man was just like, oh, look at me, right? It was really cute. He really, really put a lot of thought into this, and I am so very appreciative. I mean, goodness sakes, just either one of the cases or the other would have been a phenomenal gift. So I got that. Now, the other things that I have are more quilting related. Now, if you are a quilter, they do have what's called a Sew Sampler subscription, and you get a little box every month. And I've been doing this for quite some time. I actually did it for a few years, and then I stopped because I have a bunch of these blue boxes sitting all over the place, right? But then I had FOMO, so I started again. So this particular one for November, now this is the November box, and it is called Winter Blooms. And I am sure that if you do get these Sew Sampler boxes, you have already received yours, so I'm not spoiling anything here. So one of the things that was in the box is this Quilter's Reference Tool book. Now I have one of these. It is a nice book to have. I have one up in my sewing room. This one I will probably take downstairs into the quilt studio. But it gives you fabric requirements, like if you're making certain blocks, like the Ohio Star. Okay, it'll tell you how many to cut for whatever size block you're making, 3, 6, 9, 12, or 15. And this is very handy. And this has a lot of the standard blocks that we use, like 9-patch, a 9-patch variation. So it's not like, you know, broken dishes. So it's not like I'm showing you anything that's not already out there. This is not a copyrighted kind of thing. All of these blocks are available. All you have to do is literally Google like shoe fly block or snail's trail block, and you'll find them. Okay, those are the common blocks that have been used for years and years and years. So what else in this box was another pair of scissors, very nice fine point, which I really enjoy in my stitching. These pins, the magic pins that you can iron over. I'm not a fan of these pins, but you know what? They're fine. I'll put them in my box of pins. There is this package of fabric from Riley Blake from Bev McCullough. It's called Melody, and it has a lot of cute spring colors in there. And usually in the pattern boxes, you'll get some fabric. You'll get some fabric. You won't get enough of the fabric. You still have to provide, you know, like your background and stuff like that. This is the particular pattern that goes along with this, and it's called Perennials. Now, this is a pattern that I won't make. I know that. And luckily, there is a D-Stash group for the Fat Quarter Shop that, you know, if you're looking to sell some of the things that you really don't want, you can, right? Now, the other thing, excuse me for going out of camera there, the other personal present that I bought, and I say I'm not going to do this, and I do it every year. Missouri Star Quilt Company has an Advent box. And, you know, as a stitcher, I have not subscribed to cross-stitch Advent boxes. That might change next year. But I think this is the 3rd year that I have subscribed to Jenny's Christmas box. Now, there is something for every day, day 1 through 25, in this particular box. And I have to reach over because it's, oh my goodness. It is called the Countdown to Christmas box. Now, I'm so sorry. Oh my goodness. Trying to keep everything within arm's reach, and my arms are not long enough. So I started opening on December 1st. Okay, and the first thing was this Scrappy Fabric Card Making Kit. Now this is really cute. I thought, oh my gosh, I wouldn't have even thought of something like this. They sent the interfacing that you need because what you have are a bunch of, these would be applique. You can see the little cutouts. So there are a bunch of different applique here. Ooh, I'm losing my stocking. Right, so here's the appliques here. They're the pieces for applique. So it comes with the instructions, but here are some of the cards that can be made. So basically the only thing that you are providing is the fabric that you're going to use for your applique. They gave envelopes and cardstock, but you would have to supply your own fabric, and these are tiny enough that fabric scraps would work just, you know, very, very easily. So this is not just a sewer's, excuse me, dropping things. This is not just for sewing, but this is, you know, a very much good crafty kind of quick gift if, you know, you want to make cards for somebody, or just consider it. This particular one makes 6 cards, but, you know, with the templates, it would be very easy to just buy some cardstock and do this. So that was day 1. Now day 2, this is how day 2 was wrapped. I love these boxes. I think that these boxes would make really cute finishes for cross stitch. Maybe put something on the top. I don't know. I'm not going to get rid of them because, right? So this was day 2. Look at this. Look at this little iron. Now tell me this isn't cute, right? Fits in the palm of my hand. And when I opened it, I was giddy because everything in here, I thought, oh my gosh, these would be great for cross-stitch finishes. Or if you're doing some type of wall quilt for Christmas or whatever, and you want to put finishes on. Like the quilt behind me there, that's actually a free pattern. It was by Pat Sloan. She offered it quite some time ago. And within that quilt, I did embroidery and things like that. But that quilt would be really cute to add things on, you know, like buttons or whatever, just because I don't use that for use. It's more for display. But the first thing that I saw in there were these pins. Now, how cute would that be in a needle book? Little tiny jingle bells. There are little Christmas lights. There are beads. There are seed beads and then regular round beads. Okay, here. Again, great for accent. There's some bows in there. There are some rhinestones, which I might just pass along to my granddaughter. Some rhinestones. The little Missouri duck, which is itty bitty little Missouri duck. And then some buttons. And some of these are round, some of these are stars. Okay, so these are great finishes for cross stitch. I got really excited over that because, to be very honest, if I'm doing a wall hanging, I'm more than likely not putting any embellishments on it. I generally don't quilt like that. So that was day 2. Just a couple more we'll go through. Day 3, I was excited over this too. Now last year in the Missouri box, they gave plastic, like little plastic sandwich plates with quilt designs on them. This year, these are nice. They're glass measuring cups. Measuring bowls, I should say. So there's 4 of them, quarter, third, half, and a full cup. And they match the plates from last year. So I was really excited about that. I wanted to pull these out right away, but I wanted to show you them. So they're gonna go right into my kitchen after I wash them. But here's another one of those cute little boxes. Okay. Then we had Day 4, now here's something else. I mean, you know what? In something like this, in an Advent box, no matter if it's quilting, cross-stitching, or whatever, you're not going to work on every single piece. Just like a few years ago when I bought Chantel's ornament box, I don't even remember what year it was. There were a few things in there that I knew I was not going to use. One of them was the year ornament, and geez, I want to say it was 2020. I can't remember. But I knew that there were some pieces in there that I wasn't going to use, and you know what? That's okay. Stash unloading, whatever. Or it could even be used as a piece to mount something else, like I showed you in my coffee piece where I needed that round ornament to mount my piece to, and then I used the ornament to mount it to my frame. So this particular pattern I will not use. I am not a quilter that likes houses. There are so many quilt patterns out there with houses, and it's not something I would do. Now, if you look really closely at the door of those houses, what they sent, now this is cute, they sent pre-printed fabric that has the doors. This is the doors. So what you would do in the pattern is you would fussy cut out one of the doors. So you would just cut, fussy cut one of the doors, and then put your fabric around it to make a block. Now this is cute, like I said, but it is not something that I would do. So I would pass this along. And on this particular fabric, there's a lot of different doors. And then they also have some of this print on here too. And I think that particular print is used where the screen could be here in the corners or whatever. So it's a nice idea, but this is not something that I would particularly do. If I did do it, I would probably turn around and put it up for sale. But then again, you turn around and say, do you want to invest the time in it? Because you know when you go to sell it, you'll never get back what you made for your time. It's just not feasible. There's no way I could charge $15 or $20 an hour to make a quilt. There's no way, right? And that's what pretty much going rate for minimum wage, right? There's no way. And then what came after that, if you happen to look really closely on this pattern, see up at the top where the quilt is hanging? Okay, those are quilt hangers. And then that is what came next, the 2 quilt hangers. Or was for yesterday, day 5. Here are the quilt hangers. Now these I will use. And I have a wall hanging on the other side of the room that it's actually a monthly wall hanging that I purchased all of the months back in 2020 during COVID. And I said, I'm going to get them all done. It is 2024, and I think I still have 3 or 4 more to do. Because I didn't just do the wall hanging. I did decorative blocks. I should have pulled it down to show you, but this is more cross-stitch than quilting. But anyway, it's hanging there, and my command strips keep falling. So I will be putting these quilt hangers up on the wall today because I'm sick and tired of those quilts falling. Now, just as a finish, this is day 6. This is how everything comes wrapped in this box. Just like I know in the advent calendars for stitching, it does the same. As a matter of fact, Hobbies of Holly said that she got hers and she opened everything up. She said, I can't wait. Well, when this came, this whole box came sometime in October, and I have to hide it. I have to hide it and get it out of my line of sight, or I will open it. But once December hits, I will open one a day because I like presents, right? Now, this to me feels like a rotary cutter case. It's shaped like a rotary cutter. I have not opened it yet. This is for day 6, so we get to open it together. I'm really loving this wrapping paper, and I'm trying to figure out how I can save it and use it in some of my finishes. Oh, I was wrong. I was really wrong. Oh, this is really nice. This is for rulers. Wow, I was really wrong. It's good. This is why I don't buy lottery tickets, okay? This is to put it's a ruler stand for your plastic rulers. This would also be very nice. I know it wouldn't hold up very well, but the rulers would come into it like this. The plastic template rulers, they would sit in it like this. Now there's only a spot for 3 rulers, and then you'll see these 2 spool holders right there. That will go in to the holes there, and that will hold your threads. And on the back of this, look at how pretty this is. Has a little bit of a ruler in inches, and oh, it's both in inches. Okay, I thought one was metric. So it's an inch measures on each side. Wow, I really thought it was a rotary cutter box, but this is very nice. And it like I said, it only will hold 3 templates, and personally I probably will just put small ones in here because I do have some that are like 2-inch square. That's really nice. So that was for day 6. So what else? What else? Let me just check my notes. Oh, I did order from Hobby House. I think I mentioned that. I did order from Hobby House on their Black Friday sale, and I noticed I got a text the other day that I had a credit coming because apparently something that I ordered is not in stock, and I'll be darned for the life of me. I don't know. I was more concerned with the one pattern that I ordered, and that was, nope, I can't even tell you what that is. But my Book of Days is in that order too. So that should be coming any day. I also today, Lori Holt, when she was showing her Christmas stitches, and please, if you get a chance, go look for Lori Holt's Flosstube. It's Flosstube number 30, I believe. Let me just double check because I wrote it down. Is that a 20 or is that a 3? It might be a 20. So it's her latest Flosstube episode. I believe it's number 20. She showed some of her beautiful, beautiful stitching. And I think what helps me a lot is knowing that some of our other stitchers that stitch things and then put them to the side to FFO them, you get busy with other things. And, I know Lori Holt just came out with a great quilt book because I have that. She's got some of her cross-stitch patterns. I didn't do the latest one, the Christmas sampler. I didn't do that one, but she actually showed that one in a stitch where she stitched it in a smaller count, maybe a 32 count, and it looks really pretty. And she used Christmas colors. And she also talked about having a bunch of colors that she uses strictly for Christmas. Like she was talking about the Prairie School ornaments that she's been doing. And there was something else that she was doing that she keeps certain threads together, DMC actually, and she will stitch all of the components, like let's say there's 7 or 8 different pieces offered. She will stitch them all with the same colorway. She uses different linens because she said she likes the way it looks in her stitchy bowls to have the different linens, but the colors are still the same. And I thought that was a really good idea. She did mention her Quilty Barn thread pack, and I did go and I look at that, and I think I'm going to pull those because, it certainly is not a bad idea. Like if you're going to do a bunch of different, my necklace is stuck. If you're going to do a bunch of stitching and, you want everything to be similar, that if you have a thread palette that you work with, it works out really well. It's almost like with a quilt where, as I've said before, Kim Deal is my fave. And if I take all of her fabrics, they will all mesh together one way, shape, or form. Same with Lori Holt. All of her fabrics from all of her lines will work together in a colorway. So I think that that's a really good idea to take your a palette. If you turn around and say, well, I want to do this particular palette for all of my Christmas stitching of my Prairie Santas, right? Then that, what you have, all of the Santa jackets are going to match. So she did mention a couple of patterns and things that, of course, I always take notes and then I go back and I look. But one of the things that I realized I haven't been doing is ordering from smaller shops as far as linens and things. She did mention Jen's stitching niche on Etsy, and I did go on there, and I did order myself four or five different pieces. Jen's stitching niche on Etsy. So I did order myself some linens. So I would expect they'll be here in a week or so. You know, I'm not in a hurry. I do have things. I'm not going to be starting anything new other than the Kim Deal piece, and I already have fabric for that. But I do want to add to my stash because I've been kitting up a lot of things. So, and I also know that when I go to Hobby House in April, there's no way I am not going to come back with some linens or threads. One thing I really haven't stitched with yet are silks. I do have a couple of small patterns. One of them is chocolate, something, I don't even remember who the designer is, but it's with regards to chocolate. So I did pick up some MPI for that, I believe, and it's still kitted. I don't believe I pulled fabrics for it yet. I'm not sure. I'm a little nervous to stitch with silks. One of the things that I have said before is that I do stitch in hand. Primarily I stitch in hand, so all of the pieces that I showed you today I am stitching in hand. So when I'm pulling some of these linens, if they're very flimsy, I'm going to have to hoop them. Now I do have some Nurge hoops, and I have mentioned that I'm not a fan of the Nurge hoops, but if I have to use them, I will. So I guess it's all situational, you know, if it's going to work best for that particular piece. I'm okay stitching in hand. I've been sewing for 50 years. I'm very good with my tension, so I'm not too concerned with that. It pretty much just, it's going to be what the piece is dictating to me. So other than that, my future plans, I'm going to continue on with my Americana Red, my Snow Day stitch. I'm going to start my Kim Deal stitch because that's going to be my belated birthday start. I do have a little piece that I want to stitch up for one of my coworkers. I want to pull that out tonight and look at that and see. I'm pretty sure I downloaded the pattern, and we're going to go from there. Oh, let me tell you this. I do know that for Christmas, my husband is getting me a new Samsung tablet, and I'm going to try working with Pattern Keeper. I generally don't. I am old school, and I do like my paper pattern because I can color on it. I can draw on it. I can make my notes. Like if I'm watching Flosstube and somebody is talking about a particular color or a pattern or whatever, just like today with Lori Holt, I sat there and I was taking notes. So, but I am going to try Pattern Keeper. Oh, yeah, you know what? I bought 3 patterns from Primrose Cottage Stitchers, and then they went on sale. Whatever. So I do have them, and I bought the PDF, and I'm going to see how that works for me. My larger pieces, I would prefer to do paper, but the small ones like that, I am going to try, only because, in all honesty, I don't want to pay shipping. For a small pattern like that, I'm going to turn around and say, well, you know, I'm going to make it worth it, and I'm buying 10 patterns just to save on shipping, and then the patterns are sitting there. Not that that's a bad thing, but I'm trying to be a little bit more realistic. So I did buy 3 of those patterns from Primrose Cottage, and it was I think the Christmas Quaker and the Cocoa Stitching, whatever. It's the ones from December. They're really, really cute. So I do know that I will be getting a Samsung tablet, and I did download Pattern Keeper to my phone, and I tried a little bit, but it got very frustrating because it's on my phone and it's very tiny. So I think that's it. I really think that's it. My plans, I do have to finish my my swap and get that in the mail. That has to be mailed out by December 16th. I do have an appointment next week with my radiologist and oncologist to go over what my treatment plan is going to be. So I've got that coming up too, and I think that that's where a lot of my thoughts have been as to, you know, what that's going to look like for me. So other than that, I think I am done for today. I do thank you very much for sticking with me, because I had said, oh, let's keep this short, and then again, there I go down that rabbit hole. I will at some point come back. I don't know if it's going to be before Christmas because in all honesty, I'm not going to be really doing anything different. So I might do it after Christmas. My son and his family are coming up from Florida after Christmas. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. They haven't been here in a few years. So there's just a lot coming up between finishing the decorating, babysitting, potentially starting my treatment for, with the radiologist, the oncologist, and see. I know I'm going to have to do radiation. I will find out if I have to do chemo and radiation. I'm crossing my fingers, and I really think I don't. But I am not a medical professional. I'm just going to wait and see what they say next week. So between that and decorating and all of this other stuff and snow days and everything else, if I don't see you before Christmas and you do celebrate Christmas, I wish you the merriest, the healthiest, the happiest, and the best stitching that you're going to have. That's all for now, and I will see you soon. Take care.